Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob, continuing the narrations for the module short stories for the various characters in Arknights. And today we are taking a look at the short story for Vigna. Now, before we get into this, I kinda had to look at something on the channel because I was curious, when did I begin posting like the operator records on the channel, and it was literally July 17th. One day, well, tomorrow, technically from this day when I'm recording, today is July the 16th, last year. It's literally a year ago when I began with those on the side. And oh boy, I remember I recorded those with the LD Players built-in recorder. Eesh. Some of those old videos have really bad audio quality, but I really cannot be bothered at this point to re-record all of those. There's a ton. Also, funnily enough, this kind of tickled my funny bone. The original operator record for Vigna was #1. The first time I, outside of her voice lines, because at that point I completely forgot her voice lines because she was with the game for so long, but it was the first time that I remembered, oh yeah, she is into rock and roll and stuff like that. And on top of it, I think later was when this skin that you're looking at right now came out on top of it. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is the original operator record that I posted on this channel, funnily enough, was July 29th, if I'm remembering now right. So almost this is almost a full year later, which is quite funny to me. Also, that operator record will be linked at the end of this video in on the screen, so if you wanna peruse through that one, operator records are not narrated, by the way, so you'll have to do the reading yourself. I've never did narrations for those. But yeah, anyway. And as for Vigna, let's put it this way. One of those characters I have used in my most default teams from a very early stage on in the game. And yeah, she's been with me for a long time, which makes me kind of sad that I've never upgraded her second skill to M3, but whatever. She did her job. She does some bonkers damage when she needs to, which brings me to, and she is not the only one who got literally the same. I'm not sure what the base stats on it, but kind of literally the same. I think bagpipe is literally the same on this thing, which is when attacking enemies with less than 40% health, increase attack to 115%, which is bonkers. Considering her second skill already, okay, this is on M1, but considering her second skill already boosts her to, like, I think by default it's 55, which is nuts. Literally melts those last 40% away. But yeah, nice damage boost. Anyway. One other thing that I've noticed, and it kind of hit me after I finished reading this for the first time. I was looking at the module and thinking about, oh, that's nice, they put her guitar here. I went back and then I remembered, wait, this is not her default skin. This is this is an extra skin. Her default skin are these two. And she obviously has her spear, not the guitar, which by the way is called axe. But yeah, interesting. I kind of love this consistency. I kind of love it that they picked her guitar from both stories about it and this one extra skin as her module. Kind of neat. But anyway, as for the story in this module, time to learn about the history of the world and the history of the music of this world. So, the title of the module is The Great Walk, and the story goes as follows. In In aged Sarkas, lecturer writes two big words on the blackboard. Westward relocation. Terran calendar 893, after the Sarkas capital was once again made ruins. Many Sarkas had lost all faith and courage. They chose to escape, to flee the crumbling mortar of their homeland and their own fates for a different land and different rule. From Gaul to Victoria to present-day Colombia, and so the wandering Sarkas were without home. Even in Colombia, the Sarkas spent all their lives in the cracks of the cities and wilds. Not to mention those of their fellow people infected with oripathy. Under this life of oppression and pain, a Sarkas named Bill Purley decided he would use music to convey his discontent in life. As long as you're alive, times come when you want nothing more than to shout out loud. This was Bill Purley's saying. Whenever Purley picked up his guitar, crowds would eagerly listen to him sing. His shouts carried through the streets of Colombia's cities, through the wastes, and echoed on over Colombia's great prairies. Lethanian's musicians turned their nose up at him, but nevertheless, this rock and roll singer forced a change in Colombia's pop culture. He even changed the fates of many a Sarkas. At that, the lecturer has written the name of this Sarkas immortalized in history and his rock band. But what happened to Bill Purley in the end? So a student asks to the lecturer. He made it big in Colombia. His record sold as far as Victoria. But one day he picked up his guitar and left the city, walking into the wilderness. This giant of a singer told his friends he was going back home, back to what was Casdel. And so nobody ever saw him again. Vigna diligently takes notes, narrating this chapter of history, narrating the Sarkas singer's legendary experiences. That night, on an underground concert stage, Vigna tunes her axe. The story of that legendary singer is twined in part with the history of the Sarkas, and the history of the guitar, and it still turns about in her head. She lifts her head to look at her band drummer, a Sarkas youth testing drumsticks. Fino, ever think you might go back to Casdel one day? Back to Casdel? Why? Vigna receives a puzzled stare in response. Why am I going back to Casdel now? Always comes a day Sarkas head home again, right? You're kidding, Vinny. The young Sarkas stands up. I'm a Colombian. My home's right here. And there we go. That is the short story, which in part mirrors, once again, like a lot of the stories about the history of this world, our own literal world and its history. And in this case, if I am totally not mistaken, Bill Purley is supposed to is supposed to be Bob Marley, and yes, those are completely two different music styles. This guy in this story being rock and roll based, Bob Marley being reggae based, but still kind of funny. Kind of funny, I have to say. I think God, I haven't seen anything about Bob Marley in a long while, but I think even this saying, where was it? Blah 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 blah. Where the hell was it? I completely missed it right now, right? Something about shouting. Oh yeah, as long as you're alive, times come when you want nothing more than to shout out loud. I think this is literally similar to something Bob Marley used to say, but I'm not sure. It's been so long since I've read or heard anything about the history of that person. But yeah, anyway, very interesting. Another little piece in the puzzle of the whole history of the world, and while not necessarily a puzzle piece to the lore of the world. Like the general lore still brings more to the table and brings more of the world alive, which makes it even more interesting. But yeah, anyway, one final thing. With this current patch came 4 operator records, one of which I already posted because the character was already prepared ages ago. The other 3, well, one is the character we got for the 9-color deer, which will take a bit. The other one is Istina, and the last one is Province. Province confused the shit out of me because I was like, didn't I already do an operator record on you? Then realized, oh, this is a second part. Oh, she needs 200% trust. Oh, she's only on 160%. Here we go again. Time to fit a character into teams in just so I can get trust up. And then Istina. Istina I had for a long time. She's not 200% herself, but she doesn't need it. But she needs support chips. I do not have support chips, and both characters, both her and the deer, are support. Why? Oh, this will take a while. All of those operator records are gonna take some time to get ready. Oh boy. But yeah, anyway, I got other modules lined up for the next few days, including narrations, so please look forward to it. And in the meantime, thank you all for listening, and to listening to this little rant at the end, but this has been Jacob. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.